This is a recording for IUC, the Attic Inscriptions in UK Collections project. It's part of a series of videos on the Greek stone inscriptions from ancient Athens, which are now in the Ashmolean Museum, Oxford. Today, we're in the Ashmolean's Greek World Gallery with Chris Liddel, a researcher for the project. So what are we looking at here, Chris?
This is a grave stele, an inscribed slab of stone about 70 centimetres high, 40 centimetres wide, and 10 centimetres thick. It was probably originally set up between 375 and 350 BC in one of the family funerary plots which lined the main roads out of Athens. It was designed to catch the eyes of passers-by and tell them about the deceased and their family. There is an inscription which tells us who the deceased were: Philodemos, son of Sophilus of Colledae, a village in Attica, and Lysimache, daughter of Timogeton of Phriarioi, another village in the territory of Athens. Philodemos and Lysimache might have been husband and wife, or perhaps more likely mother and son.
It looks like the two names are inscribed in different styles.
Yes, Philodemos' name is carved with deeper, tidier letters, while Lysimache's name is in shallow, scratchy letters and has had to be squeezed to fit around the head of the figure on the left. It seems that her name was added after she died, some time later than Philodemos. Athenian grave stelae were living monuments, and it was common for them to be modified and updated in this way, in response to new deaths.
What does the carved relief scene tell us about Philodemos and Lysimache?
The relief decoration is a stock scene. It doesn't try to show them as unique individuals, but as examples of certain ideal types. On the left, we see a male figure, Philodemos, with a horse in a short tunic called a chiton. He's reaching up with his left hand to grab his horse's reins, but they aren't included in the carving. Perhaps they were originally painted on. We know Philodemos is a young man because he doesn't have a beard, and another sign that he died young is the figure at the top of the stele, which is partially broken off. It is a siren, a mythological creature that was part woman and part bird, whose beautiful song led sailors to their doom. It often appears on tombs for men and women who died at a young age. There is a better preserved example now at the Great North Museum in Newcastle, pictured here. On the right, we see a female figure, Lysimache, wearing a thick, long garment called a himation. She lifts up her left hand as if to remove a veil, a sign of familiarity, and they grip each other's right hands in a gesture which is called dexiosis.
And what's the significance of that gesture?
Well, it's not entirely certain. It is very common on Athenian tombs. We see it, for example, in this grave stele of around the same date, now at Lyme Park in Cheshire. But we also see this clasping of hands in relief carvings on treaties of alliance, like this stele of 403 BC recording Athenian honours for Samos. So it might indicate an ongoing connection, one that even transcended death in Philodemos and Lysimache's case.
Why is Philodemos shown with a horse?
A lot of Athenian grave stelae show young men with horses. Here's another example, the grave stele of a young cavalryman called Dexeleos who died in battle in 394 BC. You can see a plaster cast in the Ashmolean. Perhaps Philodemos fought as a cavalryman too. The horse also advertised that he was a wealthy man, since it was expensive to keep and to learn to ride. The himation that Lysimache is wearing also indicates the family's wealth because of the amount of fabric it used. This gravestone was meant to be seen by passers-by to inform them of the family's military service, wealth, and internal unity, and to present the family's loss as Athens' loss.
So tell us, where can people find out more about this inscription and about grave stelae in ancient Athens?
We've published this inscription in IUC Volume 11, Ashmolean, as number 13, on the AIO website, which is linked in the description below. And you can listen to our video on the funerary inscriptions in the Fitzwilliam Museum, Cambridge, for more on Athenian funerary inscriptions.